Bhagavatam for 5 hours every day for whole Kartik. We finished 2 cantos and a half in 1 month. It was like austerity, just reading. But it's something phenomenal kind of happens. I don't know how to say it. Because you start realizing what it says there. This is no different than Krishna, the words about Krishna, Krishna's person. And so like, if your word is, I'm kind of feeling content. I don't need anything else. The problems seems not so relevant anymore. Anyway, just my small realization. Okay, we're online. Okay, Hare Krishna. Welcome to ISKCON in Dublin. We are continuing reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we just have short announcements. We're going to add the Saturdays into our reading schedule. We were doing last month Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So today's first Saturdays we are adding on, and we'll continue as many Saturdays as we can. Not every Saturday, but some Saturdays. I'll let you know on the WhatsApp group and here as well. And the second announcement is on the 18th of this month, so next Tuesday, there is Bhagavad Gita Jayanti. So-called the recitation of Bhagavad Gita happened of Sri Krishna to Arjuna. So we are having a festival where we will recite the whole Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So this is this Tuesday here in temple room or online as well. We'll start at 2 o'clock and we'll just go chanting Sanskrit and English, and there will be other devotees who will be joining in reading, and you can also join in if you want to volunteer a reading or just come here and listen or get a Gita and distribute it. That's the best day to do it and best month to do it. So we'll start. What's your name, Prabhu? Hitart is today with us. I didn't get short notice, so no one else is here. My camera crew is not here, so I hope everything's fine there. And we'll start by reciting what's there, if you want to catch that. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahima Stotra. It's glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are only few shlokas. This is from Sri Krishna Lila Stava, obeisances to Krishna's Vrindavan Lila. And if you want, we can chant together. Sarva Shastra Vipiyusha, Sarva Vedaika Satphalam, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya, Sarva Lokaika Drikpradam. O nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truth, you are the only giver of sight to all the worlds. Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalitvanto Ditha, Sri Krishna Parivartita. O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun risen in the darkness of Kali, you are the exact image of Sri Krishna. Paramananda Patnaya, Prema Vakshaksharayate, Sarvanda Sarvasevyaya, Sri Krishnaya Namostume. I bow down to you who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down a flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Sri Krishna himself. Madhika Bandha Matsangin, Madguru Matmahadana, Mannishtara Kamabhagya, Madananda Namostate. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you. Asadu sadutadayin atinicho chataraka hanamuncha kadachimam premahrit kantayos puram. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate I just been realizing I made a wrong announcement in our group. So instead of, I said we'll be reading from 1:6:13, it's actually 1:7:13. So I just kind of skipped backwards, if you don't mind. So we are further than we thought. So 1:7:13. It's around page 358 in my book. I'm not sure if there are different versions. Somewhere there? Maybe not. Just check if it's on top, you can see the chapters. So where are 1:7. 1:7. So we're there? Okay. So we just read the purpose. Go through. It's the reading. So 14. When the respective warriors of both, namely the Kauravas and the Zergis, demanded Ashwatthama's son, the Yodhana, and he was not pleased in the least. Purport. Mental thought of the activities of Lord Shri Krishna, where the Lord himself spoke in the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita is Krishna Katha, spoken by the Lord, and the Bhagavatam is also Krishna Katha, spoken about the Lord. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to be informed devotee of Krishna, and their Krishna is identical. Desired that Krishna Katha, salvation, peace, and prosperity of the team. But after hearing of the massacre of her son, distress, trying to pacify her in her great loss, 16. Present you with the head of that Brahman, beheading him with arrows. I shall then tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then, after burning your son's bodies, you can take your purport. An enemy who sets fire to the house, administers poison, attacks all of a sudden with deadly weapons. Wealth or life is guided, thus setting out, getting into his chest, he set out to follow Ashwatthama, the son of his martial teacher. 18. Ashwatthama, the murderer of the princess, seeing from a great distance Arjuna coming at him with great speed, fled in his chariot, panicked from Shiva. Purport. According to the reading matter, either Kaha or Arkaha, there are two references in the Puranas. Kaha means Brahma, who once became alert by his daughter and began to follow her, which infuriated him, who attacked Brahma with his trident. Brahmaji fled in fear of his life. As far as Arkaha is concerned, there is a reference in the Vamana Purana. There was a demon by the name Vidyunmali, who was gifted with a glowing golden airplane, which traveled to the back of the sun, and night disappeared because of the glowing effulgence of this plane. Thus the sun god became angry, and with his virulent rays he melted the plane. This enraged Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva then attacked the sun god, who fled away and at last fell down at Kashi, Varanasi, and the place became famous as Lolarka. Text number 19. When the son of the Brahmana, Ashwatthama, saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra, nuclear weapon. Purport. In the alternative, the nuclear weapon called the Brahmastra is applied. The word Vijad Majaha is significant because Ashwatthama, although the son of Dronacharya, was not exactly a qualified Brahmana. The most intelligent man is called Brahmana, and it is not a hereditary title. Ashwatthama was also formerly called the Brahma Bandhu, or the friend of a Brahmana. Being a friend of a Brahmana does not mean that one is a Brahmana by qualification. A friend or son of a Brahmana, when fully qualified, can be called a Brahmana and not otherwise. Since Ashwatthama's decision is immature, he is purposely called herein the son of a Brahmana. Text number 20. Since his life was in danger, he touched water in sanctity and concentrated upon the chanting of the hymn nuclear weapons, although he did not know how to withdraw such weapons. Purport. The sub-forms of material activities are finer than grosser methods of material manipulation. Such subtle forms of activities are affected through purification of sound. The same method is adopted here by chanting hymns to act as nuclear weapons. 21. Thereupon a glaring light spread in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life in danger, and so he began to address Lord Sri Krishna. 22. Arjuna said, "O my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energiousness in the hearts of your devotees." Perfect. Aware of the transcendental, he had already experienced them during the Kurukshetra war, in which both of them were present. Therefore, Arjuna's version of Lord Krishna is authoritative. Krishna is almighty and is especially the cause of fearlessness for the devotees. A devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Material existence is something like a blazing fire in the forest, which can be extinguished by the mercy of the Lord Shri Krishna. The spiritual master is the mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of the self-realized spiritual master. The spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the heart of the suffering person and inject knowledge transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. 23. You are the original personality of Godhead, who expands himself all over the creations and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You are always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Purport. The Lord states in the Bhagavad Gita that one who surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord can get release from the clutches of nescience. Krishna is just like the sun, and Maya, or material existence, is just like darkness. Wherever there is the light of the sun, darkness or ignorance at once vanishes. The best means to get out of the world of ignorance is suggested here. The Lord is addressed herein as the original personality of Godhead. From him all other personalities of Godhead expand. The all-pervasive Lord Vishnu is Lord Krishna's plenary portion or expansion. The Lord expands himself in innumerable forms of Godhead and living beings, along with his different energies. But Sri Krishna is the original primeval Lord, from whom everything emanates. The all-pervasive feature of the Lord experienced within the manifested world is also a partial representation of the Lord. Paramatma, therefore, is included within him. He is the absolute personality of Godhead. He has nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material manifestation, because he is far above the material creation. Darkness is a perverse representation of the sun, and therefore the existence of darkness depends on the existence of the sun. But in the sun proper, there is no trace of darkness. As the sun is full of light only, similarly the absolute personality of Godhead, beyond the material existence, is full of bliss. He is not only full of bliss, but also full of transcendental variegatedness. Transcendence is not at all static, but full of dynamic variegatedness. He is distinct from the material nature, which is complicated by the three modes of material nature. He is Parama, or the chief. Therefore, he is absolute. He has manifold energies, and through his diverse energies, he creates, manifests, maintains, and destroys the material world. In his own abode, however, everything is eternal and absolute. The world is not conducted by energies or powerful agents by themselves, but by the potent, all-powerful, with all energies. 24. And yet, though you are beyond the purview of the material energy, you execute the four principles of religion, and so on for souls. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna descends on the manifested by the material modes of nature. He is eternally beyond material manifestations. He descends out of his causeless mercy to reclaim the fallen souls who are captivated by the illusory energy. They are attacked by the material energy, and they want to enjoy her under false pretexts, although in essence the living entity is unable to enjoy. He thinks in the material world, but factually he is in illusion. The Lord descends to earth and thus reclaim the conditioned souls back. That is the all-merciful nature of the Lord for the fallen souls. 25. Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world and to benefit your friends, especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are wrapped in meditation upon you. Purport. It appears the Lord is partial to his devotees. Everyone is related to the Lord. He is equal to everyone, and yet he is more inclined to his own men and devotees. The Lord is everyone's father. One can be his father, and yet no one can be his son. His devotees are his kinsmen, and his devotees are his relations. This is his transcendental pastimes. It has nothing to do with mundane ideas of relations, fatherhood, or anything like that. As mentioned above, the Lord is above the modes of material nature, and thus there is nothing mundane about his kinsmen and relations in devotional service. 26. O Lord of Lords, how is it that this dangerous effulgence is spreading all around? Where does it come from? I do not understand it. Purport. Anything that is presented before the personality of Godhead should be so done after due presentation of respect prayers. That is the standard procedure, and Sri Arjuna, although an intimate friend of the Lord, is observing this method for general information. 27. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Know from me that this is the act of the son of Drona. He thrown the hymns of nuclear energy, Brahmastra, and he does not know how to retract the glare. He has helplessly done this, being afraid of imminent death. Perfect. The Brahmastra is similar to the modern nuclear weapon manipulated by atomic energy. The atomic energy works called combustibility, and so the Brahmastra also acts. It creates an intolerable heat similar to atomic radiation, but is that the atomic bomb, as the Brahmastra, is a subtle weapon produced by chanting hymns. It is a different science, and in the days gone by such science was in the land of Bharatvarsha. The subtle science of chanting hymns is also material, but it has yet to be known by the modern material scientist. Subtle material science is not spiritual, but it has a direct relationship with the spiritual method, which is still subtle. A chanter applied the weapon as well as how to retract it. That was perfect knowledge. But the son of Dronacharya, who made use of this subtle science, did not know how to retract. He applied it, being afraid of his imminent death, and thus the practice was improperly religious. As the son of a Brahmana, he should not have made so many mistakes, and for such gross negligence of duty, he was to be punished by the Lord himself. 28. O Arjuna, only another Brahmastra can counteract this weapon. Since you are expert in the military science, subdue this weapon's glare with the power of your own weapon. Purport. For the atomic bombs, there is no counter-weapon to neutralize the effects, but by subtle science, the action of Brahmastra can be counteracted, and those military science counteract the son of did not know the act of counteracting the weapon, and therefore Arjuna was asked to counteract it by the power of his own weapon. 29. Sri Sutta Goswami said, hearing this from the personality of God, Arjuna touched water for purification, and after congratulating Lord Shri Krishna, he cast his Brahmastra weapon to combat the other one. 30. When the rays of the two Brahmastras combined, a great circle of fire like covered in the whole firmament of planets. Purport. The heat created by the flash of a Brahmastra resembles the fire exhibited in the sun globe of annihilation. The of atomic energy is very insignificant in comparison to the heat produced by the atomic bomb explosion but the heat produced can destroy the whole cosmic creation. The person is therefore made the heat at the time of annihilation. 31. All the population of the three scorched by the combined heat of the weapons. Everyone is reminded of the some which takes place at the time of annihilation. Purport. The three worlds are the upper, lower, and intermediate planets of the universe. Although the Brahmastra was released on this earth, the heat produced by the combination of both weapons covered all the universe, and all the populations of all the different planets began to feel the heat excessively and compared it to that of the Samvataka fire. No planet, therefore, is without living beings, as less intelligent materialistic men think. 32. Thus, seeing the disturbance of the general populace and the imminent destructions of the planet, Arjuna at once retracted both Brahmastra weapons, as Lord Sri Krishna desired. Perfect. The theory that the modern atomic bomb explosions can annihilate the world is childish imagination. First of all, the atomic energy is not powerful enough to destroy the world. And secondly, ultimately, it all rests sanctioned. Nothing can be built up or destroyed. It is material nature's law works under the direction of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord says that natural laws work under His supervision. The world can be destroyed only by the will of the Lord and not by the whims of tiny politicians. Lord Shri Krishna desired that the weapons released by both Droni and Arjuna be withdrawn, and it was carried out by Arjuna at once. Similarly, there are many agents of the all-powerful Lord, and by His will only can one execute what He desires. Text number 33. It's 1733. 33. Arjuna, his eyes blazing two red balls of copper, dexterously bound him with ropes like an animal. Purport. Ashwatthama's mother, Kripi, was born in the family of Gautama. The significant point in this shloka is that Ashwatthama was caught and bound with ropes like an animal. According to Sridhar Swami, he was obliged to catch the son of a Brahmana like an animal as a part of his duty, dharma. This suggestion by Sridhar Swami is also confirmed in the later statement of Sri Krishna. Ashwatthama was a bona fide son of Dronacharya and Kripi, but because he had degraded himself to a lower status of life, it was proper to treat him as an animal and not as a Brahmana. 34. After binding Ashwatthama, Arjuna wanted to take him to the military camp. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, looking on with his lotus eyes, spoke to angry Arjuna. Purport. Both Arjuna and Lord Sri Krishna are described here in the angry mood, but Arjuna's eyes were like balls of red copper, whereas the eyes of the Lord were like lotuses. This means that the angry mood of Arjuna and that of the Lord are not on the same level, and thus he is absolute in any stage. His anger is not like the anger of a conditioned living being within the modes of qualitative material nature. His anger and pleasure are the same. His anger is not exhibited in the three modes of material nature. It is only a sign of his bent of mind towards the cause of his devotee, because that is his transcendental nature. Therefore, even if he is angry, the object of anger is blessed. He is unchanged in all circumstances. 35. Lord Shri Krishna said, O Arjuna, you should not show mercy by releasing this relative of Brahmabandhu, for he has. The word Brahmabandhu is a person who happens to take birth in the family of a Brahmana, but is not qualified to be called a Brahmana, is addressed as the relative of Brahmana, and not as a Brahmana. The son of a high court judge is not virtually a high court judge, but there is no harm in addressing a high court judge's son as a relative of the honorable justice. Therefore, as by birth only one does not become a high court judge, so also one does not become a Brahmana simply by birthright, but by acquiring the necessary qualification of the Brahmana. As the high court judgeship is opposed for the qualified man, So also the post of a Brahmana is attainable by qualification only. The Shastra enjoins that even if good qualifications are seen in a person born in a family other than that of a Brahmana, the qualified man has to be accepted as a Brahmana. And similarly, if a person born in a family of a Brahmana is void of Brahminical qualifications, then he must be treated as a non-Brahmana, or in better terms, a relative of a Brahmana. Lord Shri Krishna, the supreme authority of all Vedas, has personally pointed out these differences, and he is about to explain the reason for this in the following shlokas. 36. A person who knows the principles of religion does not kill an enemy careless, intoxicated, insane, asleep, afraid, or devoid of his chariot, nor does he kill a boy, a woman, a foolish creature, or a surrendered soul. Purport. An enemy who does not resist is never killed by a warrior who knows the principles of religion. Formerly, battles were fought on the principles of religion and not for the sake of sense gratification. If the enemy happened to be intoxicated, asleep, etc., as above mentioned, he has never to be killed. He was never to be killed. These are some of the codes of religious war. Formerly, war was never declared by the whims of selfish political leaders. It was carried out on the religious principles, free from all vices. Violence carried out on religious principles is far superior to so-called non-violence. 37. A cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions. Purport. A life for a life is just punishment for a person who cruelly and shamelessly lives at the cost of another's life. Political morality is to punish a person by a death sentence in order to save a cruel person from going to hell. That a murderer is condemned to a death sentence by the state is good for the culprit, because in his next life he will not have to suffer for his act of murder. Such a death sentence for the murderer is the lowest possible punishment offered to him, and it is said in the Smriti Shastras that men who are punished by the king on the principle of a life for life are purified of all their sins, so much so that they will be eligible for being promoted to the planets of heaven. According to Manu, the great author of civic codes and religion, animal is to be considered a murderer, because animal food is never meant for the civilized man, whose prime duty is to for going back. He says that in the act of killing an animal by the party of sinners, and all of them are liable to be punished as murderers, exactly like a party of conspirators who kill a human being combinedly. He who mission, he who kills the animal, he who distribution of the food, he who eats animal food, are all murderers, and all of them are liable to create a living being despite all advancement of material science. And therefore, no one has the right to kill a living being by one's independent whims. For the animal eaters, the scriptures have sanctioned restricted animal sacrifices only, and such sanctions are just to restrict the opening of slaughterhouses and not to encourage animal killing, which animal in the is good both for the animal sacrificed and the one eaten. It is good for the animal that the sacrifice wanted to the form of life after being sacrificed, and it is safe from great types of sins, eating meats, which are ghastly places for bringing all kinds of malfunctions to society, country, and the people in general. The material world is itself a place always full of anxieties, and by encouraging animal slaughter, the whole more and more by war, pestilence, famine, and many other unwanted calamities. 38. Furthermore, I personally heard you promise, Draupadi, that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. 39. This man is an assassin and murderer of your own family. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his master, his family. Kill him immediately, Purport. The son is condemned here as the burnt remnants of his family. The good name of Dronacharya was respected. He joined the enemy camp. The Pandavas held him always in respect, and Arjuna saluted him before wrong in that way. Committed done by the Dvijas or the twice more. Ashvatthama, the son of Dronacharya, committed murder by killing the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi, by which he dissatisfied his master Duryodhana, who never approved of the heinous act of killing the 5 sleeping sons of the Pandavas. This means that Ashvatthama became a soldier of Arjuna's own family members, and thus he was liable to be punished him. In the Shastras, he who attacks without notice, or kills from behind, or sets fire to another's house, or kidnaps one's wife, reminded Arjuna of these facts, so that he might take notice of them and do the needful. Text number 40. Sutta Goswami said, although Krishna, who was encouraged Arjuna to kill the son of Acharya, Arjuna, a great soul, did not like the idea of killing him, although Ashvatthama was a heinous murderer of Arjuna's family members. Purport. Arjuna was a great soul undoubtedly, which is proved here also. He is encouraged herein, but Arjuna considers that the great teacher should be spared. He happens to be the son of Drona, even though he is an unworthy son, having done all sorts of heinous acts whimsically for no one's benefit. Lord Shri Krishna encouraged Arjuna outwardly to test Arjuna's sense of duty. It is not that Arjuna was incomplete in the sense of his duty, nor was Lord Shri Krishna unaware of Arjuna's sense of duty. But Lord Shri Krishna put to his pure devotees' sense of duty. The gopis were put to such tests, and Arjuna also was put to such a test. All pure devotees come out successful in their respective tests by the Lord. 41. After reaching his own camp, Arjuna, along with his dear friend and charioteer, Sri Krishna, entrusted the murder on his wife, who was lamenting for her murdered sons. Perfect. The transcendental relation of Arjuna is of the dearmost friendship. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself has claimed Arjuna as his dearmost friend. Every living being is thus related with the Supreme Lord by some sort of affectionate relation, either as servant, or as a friend, or as a parent, or as an object of conjugal love. Everyone thus can enjoy the company of the Lord in the spiritual realm if he at all desires and sincerely tries for it by the process of Bhakti Yoga. 42. Sri Sutta Goswami said, Draupadi then saw Ashvatthama, who was bound with ropes like an animal, and silent for having enacted the most inglorious murder. Due to her female nature, and due to her being naturally good and well behaved, she showed him due respect as a Brahmana. Purport. Ashvatthama was condemned by the Lord himself, and he was by Arjuna just like a culprit, not like the son of a Brahmana or teacher. But when he was brought before Srimati Draupadi, she, although begrieved for the murder of her sons, and although the murderer was present before her, could not withdraw the due respect generally offered to a Brahmana or to the son of a Brahmana. This is due to her mild nature as a woman. Women as a class are no better than boys, and therefore they have no discriminatory power like that of a man. Ashvatthama proved himself to be an unworthy son of Dronacharya or of a Brahmana, and for this reason he was condemned by the greatest authority, Lord Shri Krishna, and yet a mild woman could not withdraw her natural courtesy for a Brahmana. Even to date, in a Hindu family, a woman shows proper respect to the Brahmana caste, however fallen and heinous a Brahma Bandhu may be. But the men have begun to protest against Brahma Bandhus, who are born in families of good Brahmanas, but by action are less than Shudras. The specific words used in the shloka are Vama, Svabhava, mild and gentle by nature. A good man or woman accepts anything very easily, but a man of average intelligence does not do so. But anyway, we should not give up our reason and discriminatory power just to be gentle. One must have good discernitory power to judge a thing on its merit. We should not follow the mild nature of a woman and thereby accept that which is not genuine. Ashwatthama may be respected by a good-natured woman, but that does not mean that he is as good as the genuine Brahmana. 43. She could not tolerate Ashwatthama's being bound by ropes, and being a devoted lady, she said, "Release him, for he is a Brahmana, our spiritual master." Purport. As soon as Ashwatthama was brought before Draupadi, she thought it intolerable that a Brahmana should arrest it like a culprit and brought before her in that condition, especially the Brahmana happened to be a teacher's son. Arjuna arrested Ashwatthama knowing perfectly well that he was the son of Dronacharya. Krishna also knew him to be so. Both of them condemned the murder without consideration of his being the son of a Brahmana. According to revealed scriptures, a teacher or spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he proves himself unworthy of the position of a guru or spiritual master. A guru is called also an acharya, or a person who has personally assimilated all the essence of Shastra and has helped his disciples to adopt the ways. Ashwatthama failed to discharge the duties of a Brahmana or a teacher, and therefore he was